Okay, we're in section 11, and certainly we went through the examples, the lecture. I'm not saying you finished your homework at this point, but if if you have, that's great. Once you master all that material, you start thinking about, how do machines handle this stuff, all right? And again, you want to learn how to do this stuff by hand. We're carefully selecting problems that work really beautiful by hand. So I'm going to just type in the code, and let's do that. Reset. And I'm just looking at my code, exit variable. I could probably do this in my sleep now. I'm doing it so often. And then I'm just going to, I'm going to copy paste. And this is something that, I'll just type it in. And I want to point out, what does it say? It says integrate x times e to the minus x with respect to x starting at 0 and going off to infinity. Now, in the past, what I type in infinity as, I typed it in as OO. Do you remember that? All right, it says it's 1. Let me go back to the infinity. That's uppercase. What's easier to type? I think the OO is easier, right? Still get 1. All right, not bad. Can do it. Let's do this one over here. We'll talk about the integral. This one was going to get 1 over the square root of x minus 2. And that's got, it's improper there because it's a division by 0 at 2. So it's an improper integral. And let's see how Sage handles it. All right. And I got it. It didn't bark at that one. All right. So let me do this one over here. And I'm seeing that OO stuff now. And that means minus infinity plus infinity. It's improper integral. The dependent is all real numbers. So it seems like it's going to work out okay, provided you can integrate it. Yep, you get pi. All right, I think we did that one too. And again, you realize how easy a machine it is to use a machine. But again, it's almost pointless to say, okay, a machine can do this. We're trying to learn how to manipulate things. And this is really, we're at the level of mathematics where we're manipulating things. We're moving things around, so to speak. So let's do this one over here. Oh boy, look at that one. All right, what does it say? It says it's divergent. Let's take a look at that integral again, and I'll take a look at it. And it says from 0 to 2, and it says it's divergent. All right, 0 to 2. All right, let's see if we did that one. All right, see how much work that was. So I'm looking 1 over x cubed, right? And this is why you need to reflect back over what you've done, especially when you get something that's shocking to you. Again, maybe I can't remember. Maybe I didn't do it. Looks simple enough though, doesn't it? Oh, right here. Look at that. So I think you probably remember me doing this. At least I hope so. Really the same integral. And we went through the work. It was improper. We wrote it down the way we should write it down. And then what we do is we try to do the limit there. And it turned out to be a non-existent. All right. So we did that one. And that's good to know. All right. I want to briefly go through, and I'm trying to learn from my past two, some of these things over here. And one thing I want to point out is that, this guy over here, you see that? Okay. Now I'm going to clear the screen. I'm going to say solve. Again, I don't know if it's going to work. EXP. Hopefully you remember me doing this in class, or at least during lecture. Less than or equal to EXP to the minus X. Okay. Now, I got to be honest with you, for a lot of students reading this thing over here, it's as if this means nothing. And that's why it's so important that you have some idea what's going on over here. So this is why we spend so much time talking about it. If you don't have the background in what we've spoken through, though, this stuff over here is going to be nonsense to you. Absolute nonsense. All right. Now, what am I going to say over here? Yeah, looking at it, it might give you some things you don't understand at this point. But I do say it says it's true when x is greater than 1. Now, what's true when x is greater than 1? Well, what's true is that e to the minus x, which is this curve right over here, is greater than or equal to e to the minus x squared, which is this curve over here, the bell-shaped curve. And I see that clearly. This is 1. It's definitely greater than it there. And then where else? Let's take a look at it. It says it's going to be true when x is below 0. Well, I see that to be true also below 0, right? I'm reading. I understand what I'm reading at this point. Now, what's this over here? It says, well, when it's equal to 0. And let's see if we can solve that equation, because it does say that, all right? So I'm going to say solve. And I'm gonna copy paste now this equation here for x. You know what? It's not solving the equation. That's amazing. It's not solving that equation, which I thought it would be obviously to solve that equation, right? I think we've done fine root before though, right? Oops, I'm sorry. Need to give it an interval, right? And I think a good interval will be between -1, I'd say minus 0.5. And by the way, sometimes I don't remember things correctly. I'm going to come back with an error message, and then I'll look at my error message and then say, oh yeah, that's it. I couldn't remember exactly what I had to do. All right, let's take a look at it. And I'm starting to see it. It says find root takes at least 3 arguments, 2 given. All right, I'm going to try again. Oh, you know what? Now I'm starting to remember now. The thing about memory is you may not be able to remember it right. Well, I'm getting that. So what the hell number is that? It's bizarre. It really is bizarre. That's a really small number. Now, again, I don't know why it's having trouble with that. It should be 0, right? It should be 0. It's just having trouble with it. But 1.12, yada, 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 and that e to the minus 14, it's 10 to the minus 14 is close enough to be 0 for me. Let's do the other one. I'm going to choose this over here. And I'm not going to go between, I'm not going to go between those 2 numbers again. I'm going to go 0.5 and 1.5. Now, the answer should be 1. I don't know what it's going to give me. And it's giving me something close to 1. And again, I don't know why it's having such trouble with that. To me, it looks like a really trivial problem. That's the point. You have to have some knowledge to know when things are not going as planned. If you have no knowledge, that machine is not going to help you at all. All right. Thank you for your attention.